Good morning. Us farmers are early risers this Wednesday, March 25th at 5:25 a.m. I'm coming to you from the magical, majestic mountains of Panama, the spear tip of alternative agriculture, to come on once again and let you know that for the last 15 years we've been doing innovative, spear tipping, alternative agriculture in Central and South America, various locations. We know the benefits of all the different countries, which are all really great. And they don't have the regulations that the states has. Alternative agriculture investment is the best investment you can make right now. You will be very happy with it. It will have multiple streams of income. There's lots of options to look at. You will probably be happy with it more than a Bitcoin or another home investment somewhere where the regulations are too high and the system's not dependable. Down here, I will put you in touch with titled ownership that will be stable and will not be overregulated. You will be able to do spear tipping, diverse agriculture, all the way to AI, drone innovations that we have designed and want to do. Check the links below at nutritionaldiversity.com. People are starting to figure out, hey, listen, we need to grow our own food if we truly love our family members, or we need to get behind someone who's growing their own food. And we may even want to set up a plan B somewhere that gives us an alternative stream of income. Already sells to oligarchs are the perfect people to be working with, have incredibly, unbelievably low monthly progressive maintenance fees to see our farm continue to go in the right, most intelligent direction in farming, organic, alternative, diverse agriculture today. We are biodynamic agriculturists at the baseline. We do a lot of biodynamic agriculture preparations, and a lot of that is intended, and I'm talking about biodynamic agriculture written by Rudolf Steiner, and a lot of these types of preparations bring light into the situation, bring new dynamic elements into the situation, bring a holistic approach to the situation of biological health as it is given to us by God. Right? And nutritionaldiversity.com is simply the working prescription for human optimal performance, right? From the doctor and dentist less system of wild game is the best meat. We all know that because it eats a nutritional diversity diet. They're the best performing, most strongest animals in this sphere we call Earth, life, nature, atmosphere, holodeck training module for your soul. But moving right around to these 2026 sensor expansion abilities, the satellites have new sensor expansion capabilities, and they have detected ultra weak photon emissions and jungle canopies. This is the other reason why you want to make your alternative agriculture investment in the southern and central hemispheres. The equator zone, central zone being the purification zone, that meaning that any contaminants in the northern or southern hemisphere, they don't come here. They'll rotate to about the 10-degree mark of the equator, and they'll wind back up to their respective poles. That's the way all those weather patterns work. So let's just say something horrific like an asteroid collided and kicked up a dust and all that kind of thing, the planet would restart from here where the highest growth rates and densest biodiversity exists. And now we already know this, us alternative agriculturists who have worked behind the shovel in nature every day for the last 15 years, right here and in a few other spots. Please see some of our sites that have even been covered really well, videography by news companies on our YouTube channel, and go over the links below, right? But recent advances in satellite sensing are beginning to detect ultra-weak photon emissions, biophotons from dense jungle canopies. These emissions are linked to plant metabolic activity, stress signaling, and overall ecosystem vitality. In high-density tropical systems where biodiversity is extreme and growth cycles are continuous, the collective signal becomes stronger and more coherent compared to fragmented or monoculture landscapes. By far. This suggests that jungles are not just biologically active, they are light active systems. This is all this human and botanical photosynthetic electric energy we eat directly from the plant, with the electric essence still there, that leaves with chlorophyll and many other things in the spectrum 5 minutes after it's been disconnected from the plant, which doesn't need to be completely killed by a machine in our system. That's a fun fact that a lot of people appreciate, so I just throw it in there. The implications for small scale agriculture are dense, multi-layered, show that what we already know again, dense, multi-layered plant systems may amplify biological signaling across crops. Yes, they do. Not may, they do. Polyculture environments could create stronger energetic and biochemical resilience. Real-time monitoring now and future may allow growers to track plant vitality remotely. Our bio-Voltaire, and Voltaire says we're guilty of the good things that we do not do. Our bio-Voltaire drone design program, I actually already have a letter off to, there's a drone actually that just came out by a company that is we can just augment the programming of it a little bit to adhere to guerrilla permaculture ideas and forget about it. We're off to the races. I've contacted that company about us doing it together, right? Because what they've created is excellent. And if we just, again, update the program, maybe they just do it. Maybe they just take the idea. See, this is a real science channel here, right? A lot of science nowadays is interestingly very not real. It's very not based in reality. And many of the practitioners are very out of their element when in raw nature. So, and it is definitely the health professionals that have us in a health crisis. It is definitely the food pyramid that you don't just turn upside down, you replace. As Buckminster Fuller says, we're not going to fight the existing system. We're going to step out and replace the existing system. We're going to make the best investment there is into alternative, unregulated agriculture in the most dependable investment zone of the highest growth rate with constant production year round. In the no-brainer, right? With the best management company, with the most innovative naturalist group likely on the planet that's been, and bonus guys, all health issues really can be cured. Mental health, spiritual health can really be cured over enough time with the right kung fu masters at the top of the magic mountains out in nature. True, really, tending to nature, becoming a cog, a natural cognition, a cog in the natural process can really iron out a lot of kinks, and it did that for me. And who would I be if I didn't take a minute to tell you? So quantum coherence in tropical broadleaf species is also measured here. Tropical broadleaf plants, especially those in equatorial regions, operate in conditions of consistent sunlight, humidity, and rapid nutrient cycling. This is something you want to create for your own Hu-based man self. Hua. This ability allows for synchronized internal processes, sometimes described in research as increased biological coherence, how aligned and efficient internal signaling systems are. What I just said, but in scientific terminologies, none of us can understand, right? Compared to temperate plants that deal with seasonal stress and dormancy, tropical species maintain continuous metabolic flow, which may enhance light capture efficiency and intracellular communication. Once again, not may enhance, does enhance, definitely, right? And just cognitively knowing about these realities and not being ignorant of them, ignorance being a choice, especially after this video, I hope it causes some of you to dive down some of the rabbit holes that I have, saying, you know, not just looking at what all the problems are, but whoa, check out the solution. All right. And again, so in plainer terms, equatorial crops can maintain year-round growth cycles without shutdown periods. Higher biological coherence may translate into faster recovery, stronger growth, and higher nutrient density. You ever heard the phrase, you are the sum of the 5 people that you hang out with? Turns out, and there's Cleve Baxter tests, I'll put links below, there's plenty to back this out. These things are pure. The botanicals around you, they're pure. They're insanely effective and pharmaceutical. Everything is a toxic and a remedy. Everything in nature is a toxin and a remedy. It's the dose that decides. There's this insanely, none of my words begin to describe this species that your dog might pee on, right? But all of these incredible things have so much life and detection and communicative abilities and effective essences on the mechanisms that whatever we want to call ourselves, on the humans, right? I have a long, so the mixed species planting, trees, shrubs, vines, ground cover, permaculture, biodynamic agriculture were the search terms. Support continuous system harmony. Continuous system harmony is something we all need to look at as a human body, as a human organism, as a human on this planet, because that would and we can all be harmonious with nature. Just imagine, just for a minute, this is abstract, but that's why we have a real channel. That's why you're still here, hopefully, because you're a real person and you resonate with real stuff, okay. Imagine we made all kinds of great machines and drones. We have the design on our website for one of them right now, for a few of them, to make a super nutrition that's from all natural biomass, for example, to tend to insane. We can enhance nature. We can enhance nature greatly. We can cultivate, and we could use robots to cultivate, and we could motivate new humans to come behind those robots and nuclear cultivate stuff that we should have been doing 10 years, but now we have the technology to catch up on the 10 years we weren't doing this. Because if we have a destruction force that we put billions of dollars into, we should have a life enhancement force, just responsibly, right? If we're cutting down all these trees, we should be planting, right? We should have a real biological synchronicity that's, we shouldn't be making trash islands. Thanks to plastiline, we can now start making nature jab, we can start making plastiline, and remote sites. And independent, sustainable sites can make their own fuel, sucking up the garbage, the fuel source we've been creating for ourselves, that we've been storing on this excellent plastic waste dumps. We can pull that all up and actually turn that into a fuel source now, just, trash mines. I mean, we being innovative, what I'm trying to say is, if we start putting as much funding into biodynamics as we have put into aerodynamics, as into life giving, as much as we put into life taking, We will be making so many innovations and advancements. There will be living in an Avatar movie wonderland paradise. It will be amazing for mental health, for conscious upgrade, for harmonious living. There's a permaculture study that says 20 times the population of today can exist on this planet, no problem, if we live in a sustainable, nature enhancing rather than nature destroying form. How are we still missing this? And in conflicts and wars, why not take people from Gaza, bring them to Venezuela, do diverse agriculture, the biggest natural resource capitalization there really truly is, that you grow and I mean, this is what we're supposed to be doing. Adhere to your natural God-given role, son, and watch your soul grow as well. You know? We, as a cultivator, listen to me when I say every species came here to get strong. A young man asked me, "What do you got to go to the gym every day to keep your muscles pumped up?" Son, I go to the gym every day to build strength so that when it comes time to resist temptation and do the right thing and tell the hard truths, I do it. I have the strength to do it. I don't cower. And it is this mental, metaphysical strength that I am using this biology to improve the code on, to improve the base molecular code to enhance it, as the Dr. Masaru Emoto of Water Pictures of 2008. There's of every dynamic cultivation that is possible here. And that's just a baseline 2D, 3D kind of symptom of it. But the nature, the core is just so much more, right? And in simple terms, a thriving, diverse ecosystem may prime both plants and animals, including humans, to function more efficiently. Not may, definitely does. I tell you what, the jungle gym is 20 times the real gym. You spend some time with me out here eating the nutritional diversity diet, getting the nutritional diversity cognition, for lack of a better way to put it, the biodiversity, the prescribed by above nutritional, cognitional, existential system of experience. And you're going to say, man, I feel really good. I feel really empowered. I feel really enhanced. I feel really co-benefited here by this exchange. And it's wild how great a job evil may have done, removing us, separating us so much from this nature of health into this other thing where it's just toxic people, toxic substance, toxic conversation, toxic tell you a vision, toxicity to the point where, and slavery and control freakism instead of cultivationalism. You know, this is very much tied to our way of thinking, because there's so many other potentials out here. And as Buckminster Fuller says, a scientist to be paid attention to, a truth seeker to be paid attention to, a person who's committed to truth is you're never going to reform this fighting the system. You're fighting inside of an existing system. You're going to need to replace it with another system that's better and makes that system more obsolete. Funny thing is, a sustainable system where we have, and I'm not going to get too distracted on that right now, but there's a pamphlet about this called Complete Optimization. I'll put the link below. It's a little quick pamphlet on Amazon. There's a whole bunch of stuff on the website about this, guerrilla permaculture. If we get out here and we start building intentional, conscious communities that are tough, that are able to protect themselves, that are bio-power generators of their own thing, that they don't really need to be heavily connected to the outside world so much. Honestly, some of them shouldn't be at all. They can be innovated in this. There's a certain segment of society who's supposed to definitely be doing this right now. It's all as a moral responsibility. Like, you can feel good about this. And then once you start making your relationships with all your goats and your animals and your velociraptors, like you can hear in the background here, and your cows and your bison and all kinds of crazy stuff you can do there's guys out here doing all kinds of different stuff, man. I got a guy whose vegetables I'm eating from right now. He does this excellent, he's got thousands of rabbits all over his farm, and they're rabbit pellets, and he's got plants that the rabbits like to eat there that keep them there, so he doesn't even need a fence, because his diversity provides for them so much, and he loves them, and they don't really take off too much. Some of them do, but they're so reproductive. There's all kinds of interesting things that you can see that you thought you would never see, that people are trying to. There's so much dynamic. It's never going to be boring. Nobody out here knows it all. You know what I mean? The PhDs. Anyway, nobody out here knows it all. We're all in it together. You know, we're in a growing direction. Everybody's got each other's back. They're strong. They can pick up a shovel. It's not this baby boo-boo class of entitled experts, you know what I mean, who are living in such a comfort zone that they're able to live these toxic lifestyles that us naturalists don't even consider. We got lives depending on us. We're getting up, we're getting our stuff done. You know, we love these animals, they love us. This is a relationship that we're supposed to be having, you know. Guys, so in our club here, we've got a flagship supplement coming down the road that will give you the thing that I'm talking about in your pantry. You know, for right now, we really get our guys. You can make health upgrades in every respect with time-tested king of herbs, 2,000-year Ayurveda medicine's principal herb is ashwagandha. We have a great ashwagandha on our website. Click the links below, nutritionaldiversity.com. CoQ10, no brainer, guys. Real easy element here to come up with serious performance benefits and longevity benefits. And there's so many attacks on cardiovascular and heart health. There's so many early heart attacks and different issues or whatever. This right here empowers your mitochondria and empowers your heart and neurological cells with the stuff that they need that modern diet is void of. Okay? This is a no-brainer. Those of you getting older, there's magnesium glycinate on the site. Make sure you start replenishing of that mineral, because the city water supply that you've been drinking from has been depleting it. Get yourself a carbon activated water filter and some good quality sea salts or Himalayan salts, okay, to make sure that you know, we really should be taking more salt. Any cultivator has a better idea about nutrition that works, that animals, that mammals, that biology thrives with. You know, there's so many different benefits to this occupation, and we need you. And we've got turnkey stuff ready to go. You will be surprised how little you've got to liquidate up there to get very big. Down here, it's a no-brainer for so many reasons. And let's just go over this final integration of biological dense systems. You want in signal-rich environments, self-reinforcing systems that outperform monoculture inputs. Down here, we've got the extreme biodiversity, no regulations, year-round growth. And we're getting into this new innovative AI and robotics agriculture stuff that should get, you know, hopefully we can recruit a war machine contractor in the future to help us rebuild disaster lands everywhere, restart this planet, jazz up the ecology. We could make a Steiner-like world spark in ecological revolution. Back in the Native American days, it was said in my home state, the land of enchantment, that you couldn't cross the river without being pelted with fish, right? Now you can cross the river, no fish. Same river, right? They said that up at this mountaintop, the squirrel would never touch the ground. They would come up, but it was a highway in the trees, right? The mycelium network that's described in Paul Stamon's new book, Mycelium Running, has been long time theorized, by many, many big names in ecology and biology, and it's very well recognized that there's a neural network community. It was in the Avatar movie, but now there's the scientific outlay of exactly what's going on there in the mycelium networks by Mr. Mycology himself. And what was it? His movie, Fantastic Fungi, is one of the most incredible biological, informative, and visually informative masterpieces. You must see that, all right, to get a better understanding of the holistic picture of the ecology. And please keep it in the back of your mind, the roles that you can be playing and the health that you can be bringing, and the revolution eloquently disguised as gardening, and fitness, and a cooking club, right? And even the off time for James Bond lifestyle, okay? And the one thing that most naturalists who spend actual tough time in nature, okay, people who have also overcome hard challenges, all challenges being opportunities to build strength, should you take them on that way. You either become the bump in the road, or you become this Jedi that can run over all bumps in the road like it's nothing. We're starting to see that very clearly and separated right now. And I'm thinking that most of you James Bonds and James Bondettes and Jedis of life out there are going to see the rationality and reason to invest your something into some excellent alternative agriculture opportunities, turnkey, available right now through such special individuals, genuine, real individuals such as the Nutritional Diversity Team. Please click the links below. Have a wonderful day.